And I think we live. Let me actually quickly check it.
No, it says 3 minutes still.
If you refresh, it should show that we're already in.
Oh yeah, I see you with
Yep.
sunglasses.
Yes, mate. Like I said, I mean, look at the weather. This is Dubai in UK. Dubai 2.0, where crypto is illegal and they froze your bank account for using crypto. Yeah. I don't want to talk too much about that because they lock people up for memes in UK, so I have to be careful what I say. Right, guys. Welcome to the live. We do start a little bit early. Power's gonna speak in about an hour. So it's me, Sir Crypto. There is N Crypto as well. We're just gonna talk shit a little bit, talk about charts before Paul speaks. So yeah, welcome. Eng, wanna say hi?
Yeah, welcome everyone. Magic is here. I see Magic.
Oh, is he?
Hey, big
Oh,
boy.
hey, Magic, hey. Right, so yeah,
Totally a fun ride. So let's take a poll. What do you think, sir? Dump or pump? Choose one. You can't choose both.
you know, I want to be bullish, but I'm a bloody bear. So I say we pump. I wouldn't be surprised if we pump to like 99k and then we just dump from there. So that's my prediction. That's what my crystal ball says. What about you?
What, what I think it's self fulfilling prophecy. We're going to go to 99, 194
Okay.
in a week, and we retest 95, 300, which is the 9 EMA on daily, and the 9 EMA on, let's see, the 4 hour. What does it say? It says 96. I doubt that. But I see a possibility of 99, 130. And then spike down to 95. But if I have to choose one, I think we down.
Okay. What do you think is gonna happen to gold? Up or down?
Uh, I'm not sure. I don't see gold that much, but it's going to. I think BTC will follow gold. So if I'm assuming BTC nukes, I'm assuming gold will do. So
Do you think
let's see.
I know it's very far-fetched, but do you feel like BTC since we got ETF, do you feel like BTC is a little bit it's following gold a little bit in terms of like whenever shit happens, like people escape. Obviously, some people escape to stable coins, but a lot of people just escape into BTC and they basically just treat it as a safe haven. Do you, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so. I think uh, I think it's lagging. BTC lags gold for I don't know. I've not seen the timeline, but I'm pretty sure it lags gold. So if we see gold, if you bring up your gold chart, which is I think the first one,
Yeah.
uh, it's I think BTC is going to follow gold sometime. I just don't know when. I think there's a lag of 4 weeks or so, or 6 weeks. I can't remember. I saw this post the other day. Uh, so if gold is a safe haven, then BTC quote unquote is going to be a digital gold safe haven. But yeah, I think it follows.
Hmm. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's what I feel a little bit, if I'm honest. Oh, actually, I've got a wrong chart here. Sorry, let me just quickly change that. That's much better. Okay. Right. Yeah, like I said, we've got some time. We've got like an hour before Power starts to speak, so we can actually jump on charts, etc. Not much to do here for a minute. I'm just gonna keep those tabs
If you
open.
share my screen, let's go through the trades we took today in our Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. Hang on a sec. Hello, Lakfi. Hey, Maciek. Sorry, guys. It's the first time I'm doing a live stream, and there is so many options to click on. Okay, watch the stream. There you go. Can you just double check, like
I think
it's all visible?
no, I still see your Discord or our Discord. Yeah, I see it, but the screen is too small. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
full
think we're
screen.
good.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I think a quick update. So what we did today in our Discord is we took a stacks long, the one I'm currently sharing. So we longed from our entry somewhere here on 752 all the way to TP. My take profit was 816. So that hit, I think it was instantaneous. And I'm still waiting for 9160. I'm not sure if I want to keep it open. I have a buy signal on the kernel. So I think I'll keep it open. My stop loss is just at the EMA 9 on 4 hour. So even if it hits, I'm out with 45%. So that's the first trade I think we took. Then we took Lista. This was a perfect banger entry, man. I mean, I gave the zone of short zone at 1814 and 1858. Boom! I think within what? Within I think within a minute or within 2 minutes, it just touched both the entries, and boom, it's down for what? Let's see.
Nice.
Where's my percentage tool? It's downward 14%, bro. I was in a five x short. So you can imagine 15 times four, 15 times five. So that was one of the entries. Uh, and in the morning, I took a few, including dot. So I was looking at dot right here, right at I think the screen is still updating, but I took a dot short right here, and I wrote it down to all the way till the 9 EMA. So I made 45 odd percent. Um,
Nice.
Magic says you can see my chart. Thanks, Magic. So that was one of the trade, and we made what? I think I stopped off here a 2% move into I think I did a 10x. I can't remember. So that was one, which was fantastic.
Can you just show? Can
I
you
was
just
getting
show?
like
Sorry, can you just quickly show everyone what is this fantastic line that you're using? This indicator, because it looks really sick.
everyone. Oh, it's a combination of 10,000 things. So,
Uh-huh.
but the line you see on the red line, which is a zigzag line,
Yeah, it looks
that's
great.
Gator, which is it's I think a fantastic EMA tool. It's a combination of some EMAs plus 9 EMA plus I think 20 and 40, if I'm not mistaken. And guys, this is free to use in case you have a non-professional version of TeamView. Hop on in our Discord and take this indicator for free, limited time only. Uh, so that's a beautiful indicator. I use the 9 EMA as my starting point. That's another resistance or support for me.
Yeah,
And obviously 20, 50, 100, and 200.
yeah. Can I just ask you why do
Uh,
you like nine EMA so much? Because I notice you use it a lot. Just wondering,
yeah,
like,
yeah, I think there is no one size fits all, to be honest. I 9 EMA has just suited me, or I would say 9 EMA is, I think it's more institutional, to be honest,
Okay.
um, and BPAP. So people do use 11 EMA or 8 EMA on stocks also. But, I've been trading over what? Uh,
Do you have
14
like a
years.
preference for nine EMA? Do you use it like on a short time frame, long time frame, or do you
No,
basically
I
use it all the
use it as
time?
overlap resistance for every time frame, whether it's 1 minute or 4 hours or daily. But I normally trade 4 hours daily and weekly.
Okay.
I don't go sub 1 minute. No.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's cool.
And the way to trade, I think, is to have a candle theory in your picture. So, I mean, it's easy, right? If there is a continuation of uptrend, which you see on my screen right now,
Yeah.
on the dot. So there is a. Let's see if I can bring my brush in. So if you see, there is a clear uptrend. I'm not going to short this. So alongside with EMAs, you need to understand what candle theory is. So this is clearly telling you that momentum is low, but it's currently in an uptrend. So this is not a change of direction. So you don't short this. You short once you see a weakness, and then once you see the MACD, which is turning over. For example, let's see in this case, how did the MACD perform? So, okay, so it's a clear uptrend. You see the MACD crosses the signal line.
Yeah.
Boom, we do get an uptrend right there. So I think MACD is a beautiful indicator of momentum. And if you have the momentum, you have the price action and the volume. I think that's a recipe to win. If all three matches, finding all three trades very very difficult. I mean, you need to know which one you're looking at. So you got to look through all of them and then come to one particular coin or stock.
I mean,
Um,
that's the beauty of trading, right? You're waiting for as many confluences as you can. You basically just let the trades to come to you. You don't chase the trades.
correct, correct. And I made a lot on Dodge today. Doge. Let's see if I can bring that up. That was a very good trade. It's 4 hours, so it was 4 a.m. my time.
Hmm.
So it is Wednesday. Yeah, I took that trade somewhere here. Um, Let me see if I can plan that out. I took that trade somewhere here to short Doge. So can you imagine how many EMAs or how much resistance it had to go through before it could break out? It was a perfect spot for a short. Um, so I had my limit order here, which filled in, and I just made, I don't know, 40 odd percent or 30 odd percent. So you got to look at what is the momentum, what's the current momentum of a particular point, and whether do you have resistance or a lot of resistance, or it's just one line above. If you see a confluence of multiple resistances, multiple lines, boom, you're actually going to win that trade.
Yeah.
Uh, so that is one. So it's difficult uh, to keep an eye on the moving averages because it's moving, right? I mean, you have to look at it every 4 hours. So, for example, a quick example is you shorted here. You saw your all of your resistance are up the hill, and then you want to, let's say, take profit on the 9 EMA. So you want to
Hmm.
keep an eye on the 9 EMA. That is one swing trade, and the second swing trade is the structure and liquidity sweep swing trade, which was an example of that was Lista as well as SCX. So SCX was forming a higher high, so it was a clear case of long. While Lista, I don't even know what this coin is, to be honest. Yeah. And it was clearly showing you on
Some
a 2 hour
shitcoin.
time frame. Yeah, it was some shit coin. It was clearly, and oh boom, it's going to reach my take profit to 1610. So I'll probably make another 40% here. But it was a clear short trend. It was a structured short trend and on a 2 hour. Uh, let's see if I can go on 2 hours. So that's how you find trades. It's pretty. It's easy to find, but since you have a lot of points, so you see this on a 2 hour, all of these touches, all of these are liquidity fees, all of these. So this is going to be my take profit level. How do I choose my short? You see this? All the price was rejected between these two lines, majority of them. So
Yeah.
this is how I decided to get it. It's a little difficult to. You have to have an eye for it. Uh, so, but yeah, we do learn. We do make mistakes. We don't win all trades. But that is another one we made a lot in our Discord. I think another one was EDU. I don't know if I have that chart yet. Oh yeah, I do have this. So I think we were somewhere here when I posted up. Somewhere here. Yeah. So I think we were somewhere here. And I'm doing a buy signal on 1 hour, 2 hour. And I just short all my TVs and
Hang on. Sorry. We do have some sound issues. Hang on a sec. Sorry. I can hear some weird noises. Okay, can you try again?
yeah, for sure. How does this sound?
Yeah, much better, much better.
That's good.
But hang on,
Yeah,
actually, before you start, guys, leave some likes, okay? Don't be shy. Press that like button.
I think we have for 5 or 6 people, and we don't have likes. That's poor.
I mean,
Poor performance.
two likes and one of them is mine. Come on, guys. Come on. You can do better. All right, go on, mate. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, no problem. And you see the downtrend. I really wanted to exit on a sell signal,
Mhm.
but I think I did an exit after my take profit 2 level was reached, and MACD was on the roof. It was a clear indication of exit. So whenever MACD line crosses the signal line, it's a clear indication of exit. There's no two ways about it. There's no more technicality here.
Mhm.
So let's if you look at MACD, without even looking at the chart, I can tell you the price started dumping here. It was a clear indication. So look at MACD. That's your go-to indicator. There can be thousands of them, but MACD is the true source of truth. Uh, Another dump
Just a
line
quick
is
question.
and
Why do you prefer MACD over like a standard RSI?
I think RSI is a good indicator, but I don't see a reference of RSI with smoothed average. Like
Uh-huh.
it's again an average is lagging. So you're potentially charting real time versus a laggard. While MACD actually confirms uh, your compression, which is your red candles. So it has what two? It has four indicators into one. It has this line. It has the signal line. It has the dark green line, light green line, which is saying momentum,
Mhm.
and the red line. So what else would you expect? But RSI is a good indicator. It tells you that it's overbought or oversold, which I really like. So if your
Yeah.
RSI is let's say oversold, and you see a MACD line crossing the signal line, I think that's a wonderful trade. Whatever the price action is doing, if your RSI is let's say below 25 and just spikes down, which is when I got Apple and Nvidia and Google. It was oversold. and your MACD line starts to curl up, I think that's a wonderful trade.
No, that's fair. That's fair. Right. Shall we go to the Big Daddy Bitcoin?
Yeah, let's see what Bitcoin wants to do today.
Let's quickly hang
Okay.
on. Let me just quickly switch the scenes. Let's see what's going on with the charts here. Just for one sec. Okay. Right, not much. We're just consolidating for now. Let me actually change it to 3 minutes, just so we got the live data. Okay. I mean, Bitcoin is in the small downtrend. SPX, yeah, it's a very weird looking chart, to be honest. Right, shall we go back to your Bitcoin?
Sure. Why not?
Right, let me open and full screen. Gosh, I do have to make some hotkeys for that. There's so many scenes. Okay, I think we're ready.
Okay. Let's look at it together. I think on a 4 hour, let's look at daily first. I think that's going to give us a better picture. So I'm looking at something like 99,170 as a potential target,
Mm-hmm.
which is my take profit zone. Although I closed my long before Daddy Paul speaks, I'm currently in short. Um, let me see if I can draw a direction on
Okay.
4 hour, and I will see if I was right or wrong at the end of the stream. I think what we're going to do is, let's say this is your current price. I think we do this. We have a fade out,
Yep.
and we come all. I think this is what we'll do.
Hmm.
That's one option. Other option is pretty simple.
Just
Um,
down. Down to 40K.
yeah, I think uh, we do a fake out. We go back to test it. We fail,
Yeah.
and we go down to 91,500, which is somewhere here. So I have two options. I prefer the second one because I'm in shorts. I prefer the white line
I mean,
over the green line.
it's not good. We're supposed to balance each other, but we both bearish at the minute. So, yeah, it's not good. One of us has to be bullish.
Yeah, I am.
Are
I
you?
think we see 100K. I think we see 100K this week, weekend, or next week.
But
I'm pretty sure we see 100K.
hang on, let me switch the scenes. But what do you think? Do you think like this is basically a dead count bounce and we had the top already, or do you still feel like we're gonna make a new highs and we're still gonna have this one last leg to the upside? What do you think?
I think I'll keep a little more for a dedicated stream, but I can tell you this: I'm going to sell my Bitcoin, all my Bitcoin, and probably keep MSTR a little bit. But I'm going to sell my Bitcoin at 114 to 120. I think that would be it.
Let
Um,
let
I
me
have
get let me
confidence.
guess. You had this trend line from each cycle top, and it basically shows like this top in this cycle would be 120, isn't it?
I think your screen is frozen.
Oh, is it?
Are you sharing the screen? Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Is it my
I see
screen?
you moving, but I don't see your chart moving if you're charting it. Yeah, you are moving. Right.
Okay. So what else is frozen? The charts, you mean?
Yeah, I think so. If you're charting anything.
Let me see. Let me swap it to 1 minute. What about now?
Yeah, I do see your screen here. Okay. One. Yeah. So which is the line you're referring to?
Basically, okay, let me do that. Let me just switch to this. Mhm. So basically, if you take your Bitcoin chart. Alright, so this is the whole history of Bitcoin. And if
Yeah.
you just run a simple trend line from each cycle top,
See.
that's very
Yeah, yeah.
simplistic, very simplistic. But if we expect the cycle, I mean that's what I was expecting last year, that the cycle will end around September more or less. That's basically, if you go to the trend line, top of the trend line, that's basically 120k more or less. So that's what I was expecting personally.
So if you add MACD, I'll tell you, I won't give out all of my philosophy. We'll have a dedicated stream for that. But if you bring out MACD on the month, I'll tell you what I found.
I mean, this is very simplistic. Right. Hang on a sec. Let me do it that way. Yep. There we are. Can you see it?
Yeah, on the monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're on the monthly.
No, I'm on
Uh,
the monthly. Yeah. Yeah. It's right here on the top.
yeah, hard to see your screen, but let me bring mine.
Excuse me. Let me change the colors. Actually, let me make the
No
lines
problem.
thicker. That should be easier to see now. Yeah, it's pretty much topped up. It's not crossed to the downside yet.
Yeah, so you see that if you see the previous cycle, you see that swing low. The blue line peaks out and then takes a dip, and then it bounces on the second top we had, 69K.
Mm-hmm.
You Yeah. So now you see the first cycle high, or not the cycle high, the first stop had this MACD topping, and then it curves down a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then versus back up. I think that's what we are going through right now.
Basically double top.
I I think yeah, it would be a higher high. I feel. I think we won't have 109, 110. We'll fake out, and everybody in the cryptoverse on Twitter would say to the moon, and we'll top out at 114, 118 or something like that. At least that's what I think. Nobody can predict it with
Oh yeah,
institutions.
obviously.
At least that's what I think. But when you enter cryptoverse in a bear market, you have a price action in mind. My price action was I just wanted 5x or 3x or 2x, and I'll sell off.
Yeah.
It is good if you stick to that. It is good, and not chase the pumps. Is my
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah,
So
100%, mate.
I think the day MACD gives me a red signal, it's cooling down. If you see it turns from dark green to light blue, light green, whatever that color is. It is cooling down. We'll have one final pump, 215, 120 something. and that's where I'll need to find out where my hardware wallets are and send it over to an exchange to sell it off. Uh, I think that's what I feel. I
So
think we're not done yet.
how did you start this cycle? What did you buy in the bear market?
Every shitcoin possible.
Did you had any Bitcoin? Did you buy any Bitcoin
Yeah.
in
So
the lows?
I always started with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I've always started with Bitcoin. The second coin I bought the most, even my girlfriend, I made her to buy was Solana.
Ooh.
Uh, that was the coin I was telling her at 240 to buy when
Man,
it was pumping to 280.
man,
Uh,
I have to be honest, I completely missed the boat with Solana. I completely skipped it. I didn't believe
I
it.
think
And say again.
I think you didn't miss it. I think I missed selling the top. 285, 290, I missed it.
Oh, I actually nailed the top, but I didn't buy any Solana at the lows. So, I mean, so what? Because I sold like 280 something. That's when I sold the Solana I had. But yeah, I completely missed Solana. I completely faded away. I bought bloody Ethereum that I'm still holding, and yeah, I already
I got
took profits, but I'm just waiting for Ethereum to hopefully go to like 2K so I can just dump it all and just forget about it. So I'm so done with Ethereum, man. Ethereum is I don't know what Vitalik is doing. I don't know why they dump this Ethereum all the time. Yeah, like have you seen today? Today was the upgrade that everyone was waiting for, and I saw it on X. I saw the post. I think I even posted it on the Discord, and like people were like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." Like completely faded this whole upgrade. So like,
nobody
what's
cared.
what is the bullish catalyst for Ethereum? Like, there's literally nothing unless they do announce something like, okay, tokenized asset will be happening on Ethereum or something like that. Like Ethereum is just like it's done basically. What do you think about Ethereum? Sorry, Ethereum guys.
Yeah. So I would say this. Uh, Anything which is faster and cheaper will win in this world.
Yeah.
It is Solana. Ethereum is not fast. Now it's cheaper. There's gas fee is like zero. They're asking somebody use Ethereum, please. So it's a simple fundamental of life. The faster, the cheaper. That gets adopted. Number one. Number two. It's called. It's against the Lindy effect. I don't know if you know Lindy effect. Do you?
No, no.
Lindy effect says uh, if anything in this world is has a history of staying around, will stay around. For example, Ethereum. I think it will stay. It is here to stay. If RWA picks up, I think it would be on Ethereum, not on Solana.
Mate, so
Uh,
so is Bitcoin Cash.
ECS, yeah, yeah, exactly, and Ethereum Classic.
And Ethereum
Uh,
Classic, yeah.
I shorted Ethereum Classic at 28, and I forgot it on a Dex, and I was just cleaning up my cleaning up my portfolio, and I realized I made, I don't know, 20x out of it,
Oh
and
wow.
then I this coin still available on the Dex. I was like, oh my god, that's how it is.
That's funny, mate. That's
But
funny.
I
That's
think
funny.
Solana will win. Solana has shown strength. It has shown adoption. The user interface is super classy. Uh, but I think the next cycle, Sol will be another Ethereum, while Sui or some new fancy coin will be next Solana.
Yeah, what do you think about Sui? Because I don't know. I mean, I'm just talking personally. I haven't really used Sui at all. I never bought Sui. I haven't used the chain. Um, I know there is a lot of hype about Sui, like it's the next Solana, it's basically Solana killer, etc. There is a lot of maxis, but what do you think about Sui? Like, what's next for Sui? Have you used it? Have you had any experience with it?
Yeah, I have. So I'll tell you two things. I think from a price action point of view, I would love to long it at 2.93 or 2.95 to $3.
Hmm.
That's the area I'm looking at long. Um, that is from the price action. And from the ecosystem, I think it's fantastic. So they launched a new what is that called? The handheld portable gaming device, like a Nintendo Switch. Um, yeah, I can't remember what is it called,
There is
Sweet
some
GameFi
po
or something like that. So
there's some Pokemon as well, right? From what I heard.
from Sweet, I'm not sure.
On Sui,
Is
yeah,
that the case?
yeah, they did speak something
Eh?
about Pokemon. Not sure exactly. Like I said, I'm not really following. So when did you say you would love to long it? I'm just looking at the chart now.
I think 2.9 to 3. I can't say
2.9.
for sure. I want the RSI to reset. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it's at $3. But Misty Labs are doing some crazy stuff. So I won't discount it, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, I mean, looking at the chart, it is more or less 50% retracement from this entire move. So I don't see
Yeah.
why it shouldn't drop. Plus, it's a very psychological level, right? $3. So yeah, it would be good if it like wicked below that. There's, by the way, so much liquidity here. Jesus, looking at this chart now.
Yeah. And I have my orders set up. Night, I would pick it up. I have like 5 set of orders between 93 to 99 and 303. So I'll pick it up if it happens. So,
Yeah,
but the ecosystem point of view, I think they're doing really well. They had something called a Sui wallet, and now it is changed to, let me see what it is. It's called Slash Wallet. Um, and it's a pretty decent wallet like Phantom. And Phantom supports Sui now. I don't know if you
yeah, I've
know.
seen it. I've seen it actually.
Yeah, and they're building some AM and automatic market makers. They have lending now, which is definitely better than Aave. I've used Aave. I've used Aave to short Aave. So, and and they have this fancy thing. I forgot. It's called. It's a DEX actually. What is it called? Bluefin. Bluefin is a DEX. You can deposit USDC on Sui network,
Hmm.
and it has limited coins, but it's a pretty decent DEX. I don't mind using that.
Well, that's fair enough.
And
I mean, it's just I'm basically thinking of a use case for Sui because obviously Solana is so popular because of the memes. Let's be honest. I know there are projects that are legitimate projects like on Solana. But it is basically mostly Solana is a casino, isn't it? So what would be the use case for Sui for the next cycle to go parabolic, basically?
yeah, I think it's hard to predict because nobody knew this cycle would be RWA, and then there's no mention of GameFi. Who cares about GameFi anymore? So I think every cycle brings in something new.
I think
Uh,
Elio trades does a little because the guy is stuck
yeah, yeah,
with gaming tokens.
yeah, and it's difficult to say, but I think they're doing the right things. They are in the right city. The Mistin Labs had it's. I don't think it's the headquarter, but they are located in Dubai. I know.
Hmm.
I have visited them. Um, so they are in the right city. No tax. They're building. They. I think it's. If you look at their market sentiment score versus Solana,
Hmm.
it's pretty high. that is higher than Solana. So that means a lot of Twitter is about SUI than Solana, which can change, obviously. Uh, but it's hard to say what's going to be the next cycle. It's
Yeah.
really hard. If RWA picks up, which I feel it should, with the president having an RWA inside. If RWA picks up, I think that would be Ethereum. If USDC or stablecoin picks up, I think that's going to be Solana or SUI or Aptos. I don't like Aptos personally.
Oh, I know you don't like
But
Aptos, especially traded, right? Not a fan of
yeah, and
trading
I've always
Aptos.
loved that. Yeah, I probably have longed or short. I've leveraged Aptos, and I've just won probably 2 trades out of 20.
Oh,
I have no
we
idea what
we
went
we
bad.
gonna catch that Aptos. We're gonna short it in the bear markets. We're gonna short it all the way down, promise you. I,
I really want to.
I actually
I don't
I
know.
actually like trading Aptos. Like I think I've traded like 3 times, and each time I did actually I did trade it 3 times, and I shorted all 3 times on Bitfunded on the perp on
Yeah.
the prop firm. And yeah, he actually printed a lot of money, to be honest. So yeah, I feel sorry that you've been quite unlucky with that.
Yeah, I have no idea why. And I can never pick up Aptos. And, once I won Aptos, I think it was something. I'm not happy about, but yeah, it is. I think why. Um, but have you used the Pectra wallet of Aptos?
Say that again, sorry. Some issues with the sound again.
Have you used the Pectra wallet of Aptos?
No, never. No.
It
I'm I'm
sucks.
I'm
It,
not
it really
I'm not here for the tech, you know. I'm here to like make access if I'm
$8.
honest.
It is really, really bad. I can tell you
Oh,
that.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea why did that exist too. But
Uh,
anyway,
Let me just quickly
uh,
say hi to
man,
the chat. Hello, Oleg. Hello, Star. Guys, by the way, if you're watching this, if you got any questions, any requests, we still got like 20 minutes before Powell speaks, so we can still like hop on nonsense, like check smart money or check some charts. So, guys, any questions, obviously leave a like. Yeah, and just type in the chat, okay? Questions, questions, questions. We're gonna go through them in a minute, okay? Yeah, no, no, no. I haven't really used that if I'm honest, mate.
and I think Aptos could do well if it's actually bullish. If you look at the total value locked on Aptos for USDC stablecoin, it's pretty bullish.
Hmm.
But that doesn't reflect the price. That is my concern. Um, on the other hand, I think we have Solana, which is doing pretty good. But I think it's more related to Bitcoin today. So
Yeah,
whatever Bitcoin does, Solana does. So it's about price game, to be honest. So I don't really care. But I like Solana because it has a lot to do. You can do a lot with Solana. So yeah, let's see who is the next star in the next cycle.
yeah, fair enough, mate. Right, what else shall we look at? Total?
Okay, let's focus on BTC. I think BTC is 96.5. I'm looking at 95.3, 95.2.
Let's.
When does
Do you wanna share
when
your
does
share your screen while you talk about BTC? I can show everyone. I think it would be easier with the visuals. Hmm. Okay.
yeah, let's see. Yeah, so this is where I shorted. This is the green line at 97. I think my average was 97,200, which is what I gave in the Discord. Um, I think this needs to be retested. This 95,200 needs to be retested. So either this happens and we bounce, we come back. Obviously, it's not a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Or I see it happen a little lower, retest, and goes down to 93, 92,800, which is the daily support, bounces, and then falls down to 91,500, where the liquidity lies.
That would still be like
Um,
50% of the retracement if you switch to daily, right? That 91K more
yes,
or less.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That announces with the fib levels too.
Yeah. The question is it gonna be dead count bounce and we're gonna go down from there, or is it gonna be a proper retest and we shoot for another leg up? That's the big question, isn't it?
Yeah, if we do a retest, I think that's more healthy than just going to the moon directly. I think if we don't retest, uh, I don't see a way that I would open a long with a massive position. It needs to retest fib level. It needs to retest the daily support. Um, I would be happy to long here. I would be happy to long at 95 with a stop loss just below 95 to 100, either one. Or the place I would long would be 92 800 and then 91
Mm-hmm.
and just a stop loss beneath 91, let's say 99, 91 100 or something. That fails, I think we are going to um, which I don't want to talk about. I don't want to see that. But I'd be happy to short.
Yeah,
Um,
fair.
it's in a direction. It's currently we are direction left. Is what I think.
Oh no, sorry, my dog is
Uh,
squeaky toy. Chili, no, don't play with the squeaky toy now, please. Please. All right, can my doggo say hi?
yeah, okay, I
Chili,
didn't see that.
Chili, look
Which is the
here.
dog you are?
Look here. Yeah, he's got squeaky toys. Say hi. Hey,
What is
hello.
it?
Yeah, he's a
Hey,
little
Baba.
dash hunt.
That's the dash and down.
Yeah. Chili, woof. All right, I'm gonna send him back.
Ah. Star says, "Welcome, boss." He's the boss. He's boss of service. Service boss.
uh, sorry. Chili, you need to go. Yeah, no squeaky toys. Okay. Right, let's go back to your screen. What do you think about gold? Can we just quickly have a look at the gold chart?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? And then I think we should also quickly cover Tesla, right? Because you're a Tesla man.
Oh yeah. And I think we can cover Rivian too. I think all is there. Where is my gold chart? I don't trade gold manually. I trade in an automatic fashion, but I think gold should be like this on a 4-hour chart.
Do you
Let's move to daily.
do you think we're gonna make a new height?
Yeah.
So that would mean a big sell-off in the market,
Sure.
basically.
This, yes. And that is what I'm thinking we need to talk to at that point. Something like, obviously the path and the timeline is different, but I think it should do a double top. doesn't make sense to not capture this break.
Mm-hmm.
Pure TA doesn't make sense to capture this break. It needs to at least a 50% a wick fill or a candle fill can also be a position I would look at.
Yeah. Probably
But I think it's near to the
the big question would be like what's gonna happen with alts? Because I think like yeah, we talk about gold, we talk about Bitcoin, but I think most of people do want to hear what's gonna happen with altcoins. What do you think happens with the altcoins? Are we gonna have this magical unicorn promised alt season that every influencer on YouTube promised us, or do you think that's all bullshit and basic? Because like looking at the altcoins, we basically in a bear market. Like looking at the performance, yeah, they're not doing much, do they?
Yeah, and I think that's
I mean,
that's why
let me just
trading.
quickly pop. Let me just quickly pop the others chart just to what is it? Okay, others. I mean, look at that. Let me do weekly. I mean, look where we are. I mean, if you look at the MACD, we pretty close to have this cross to the upside, right? Um, but it's not looking good, bro.
You know what's better? What's better than that chart, or what's worse than that chart? Give me a guess.
Oh, don't bring Ethereum chart again, please.
Yeah, it's ETH by BTC ratio.
I knew you're gonna do that to me. Guys, is the chat? I'm sorry, is the screen frozen again, or is it just me? Okay, it's not. Okay, sorry.
I think
Guys, forgive us. This is my first live stream on YouTube, so I'm still pretty new to this. But I promise you, the second live stream will be way better. Yeah. So what do you think about that? What do you think about those altcoins? Are we gonna see the magical old season or not?
I'm very selective on alts. I don't think everything is going to go back to their all-time high. XRP is not doing a $4.
Mm-hmm.
I would sell XRP at 285, or I'll short probably at 285 or that magical number three. But I think overall it might make a higher high, but I don't think it's going to be uh, all coins to the moon. It's going to be very, very selective.
Mm-hmm.
That obviously will make the market cap of totally too higher. So that's my guess, it make a higher high. But again, it's going to be very, very selective. So I think coins like Solana or Sui are going to do well, but not, let's say, a coin like AVAX. But AVAX has a event coming up with that. So we people listening to the stream, I think AVAX might be a long sooner or later. But yeah, but yeah, it's going to be very, very selective. Is what I'm thinking.
So if you had to pick like five coins, if we going to have this blow off top and altcoins will do something what they did in 2021, if you had to choose like five altcoins, what would you choose?
It's a tough one. I think XRP. It's no random. It's a random order. It's no fixed order. So I would say XRP, Sweet, Solana,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Polka Dot because it's just beaten so hard
Oh,
and
Polkadot.
it's coming.
That's a random one. I haven't heard that one for quite some time.
Yeah. I've been eyeing Polkadot and I longed it at 2.3. I gave that signal earlier.
Mm-hmm.
months ago. Not in the I think somewhere else. I can't remember. And I had that long open on 10x at 2.6.
Yeah.
Um, I think DOT is going to do well. It did a double bottom against its BTC pair as well as its USD pair.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think the last one, in my opinion, would be a meme coin, which I would choose the daddy of memes, which is
Fartcoin.
Dogecoin. Uh, I think Doge is
Oh,
probably
Dogecoin.
going to go 30 or 36.
So pretty safe picks.
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Sorry. They just saying we've got the frozen screen again. Right. Guys, what exactly is frozen? Is it the charts? It might be the
Yeah,
charts. Right, let me just do that again. I think now it should be working. It's just because I did Alt Tab on the Google Chrome. How about now? Okay, it should be
yeah,
fixed now.
I think we're good now.
All right, apologize for that, guys. Only charts frozen. Okay, yeah, sorry. Technical difficulties. I think we're doing pretty good. Like we've got. I mean, I'm not sure how it's gonna go with the streaming another video. But as you can see, guys, I've got like two different tabs open. Plus, there is a cam, there is a Discord in the background, there is a OBS to stream everything to YouTube. So yeah, there is there's so much going on. And this is my first live stream. But I think we're doing good.
You're doing good. BTC is dumping
Yeah, yeah.
96.3.
I'm looking at that. So, if I had to choose five altcoins, let me see. I don't believe that we ever gonna see the old season that we saw last bull market. I think it's gonna be more, like you said, like selective coins will be, if it happens, will be like popping up like selective narratives or selective coins. But if I had to like choose five, I think number one would be is obviously based on the prices that are now. I think I would buy Ethereum. Um, for a simple reason, like every bull run we had Ethereum just basically doing Ethereum thing, right? Just popping up. So if the bull run actually is gonna start, like the old season is gonna start, I think Ethereum is gonna have a big part in it. So I would buy Ethereum. That's for one. Mm, and I think I would probably bet on meme coins. I'll probably just go with like a fart coin because it did show the strength. Huge popularity on X. Like everyone literally knows fart coin. I was laughing last year that during the Christmas party, like basically people been shitting fart coin to the families like during the Christmas. And it's actually been true because like I don't know if you've seen it, like in December what Falcon was doing. Falcon was, like basically the whole market was like dumping and Falcon was going up like crazy, doing like double digits numbers. So I would definitely buy Fartcoin. Um, Meme coins. I think I would bet on bread. Like if I was hoping for like a altcoin season, I would probably just go like super risky. Maybe not, definitely not with all the money I've got, but maybe with like 20% just onto a risky assets like I said, just meme coins. So probably Fartcoin, bread. I would have the same safe one, which is Ethereum. I don't think I would lose any money on Ethereum in this case. I would definitely go with some AI. I'm still a little bit bullish on that PAL AI coin. That's something. Have you? do you know about POW AI coin? Have you followed this whole fad
No,
about when
no.
they were trying to merge with Fetch?
Oh yeah,
You
this
remember
was
the
the
drama, mate?
super
Like
big alliance. Yeah.
I was buying the dip. I literally managed to buy the whole bottom of the dip, and I was saying in Discord, like, guys, just buy it. See, like, it's a good product. It's all FUD basically, because it wasn't like, you know, there wasn't a team dumping, there wasn't anything happening like that. It was basically FUD. Like they tried to merge with Fetch, and obviously they discovered like it was a bad idea because Fetch is not a good coin. Is very inflationary. Like yeah, the tokens are losing in value, so it would be very bad move for Pal AI. But I was just buying. I was saying to everyone, just buy the dip. That, and to be honest, like that was the best dip buy ever. Like this cycle for me. Like I was buying heavily Pal AI, so I would still stick to this one because I think AI is a big bubble that's gonna pop at some point again. Um, what else would I get? One last token. Uh, Good question, actually. I think I'll go with Solana. I think Solana.
There we
Bas
go.
Basically,
There we go.
whatever is popular. Like I said, like I'll go with Eve because obviously Eve can still do 90% to the downside from here, but I think like risk reward ratio, I think it got more to the upside and to the downside. Like I said, Fartcoin, just all in. I would probably just dump my money on Fartcoin and hopefully that would go crazy. And like I said, Bread, Palai, and Solana. So that's my five.
You know, if when is Fed speaking, I wanted to show something to support your Ethereum case.
Yeah, let me see.
Um,
Let me just quickly see if Paul is already live. No, okay, 31 more minutes. Right, okay. We've got time.
31. Okay. So I wanted to show you something. Let's go over this. Can you share my screen? What do you see on my screen? Let's see.
Absolutely. Let me
Do you
just
see
say,
trading?
let me just hello to everyone because we got a few more people here. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. It's Crypto and Crypto, and we do wait for Powell's speech. I think we got like another half an hour, so we basically just go through the charts. Guys, any questions? Just drop them in the chat, and we will obviously discuss them. Right. Let me jump into your screen. Okay. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay. What do you see? Uh, is it trading view or no?
Say again.
Do you see trading view or do you see another chart? Let me see if I can share.
Try again because the stream just has ended. Okay.
How about now?
Okay, I
What do
can
you
see
see?
it now. Let me just make sure we can see it on YouTube as well. 1 second, guys. Yeah, okay, it's visible on YouTube as well. Okay. Whenever you're ready, mate.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, oh, yeah. Okay. So, guys, this is an interesting story behind it. Okay. Uh, so this is something I use. It's called UDPI. It's called upside downside potential indicator. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tools I use to accumulate coins. It's based on risk level. So it's a machine learning algorithm, and it gives you a risk level based on certain parameters. Okay, which is obviously hidden. and I am not aware of it as well. But anyway, so if somebody asks me, okay, when is a good time to buy Ethereum? Okay, so the UDPI, which is the risk level, ranges
Hmm.
from -5 to 5. Okay, so I would say a good place to buy Ethereum is going to be less than zero, which is anything in -1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hmm.
And what is the value of Ethereum right now? In case of UDPI, it is absolutely demolished to -4.29. So
Wow.
if I put a formula and say if the risk is less than -4, show me the value of Ethereum and color it yellow. So do you see the price chart colored coded yellow
Yeah.
on these dips? On these dips, or maybe I'll change the color to
No, no, we
maybe
can
red.
we can say it quite well.
Yeah. So if I was a investor based on risk level, and I would not bother about anything else happening in macro. Uh, this is a place to buy Ethereum. The risk is too low. The risk is -4, which is -4.29. And as you can see, whenever the risk is below -4, it has been a good time to buy. It's absolutely close your eyes, and that's where you can buy. Obviously, it takes time. And again, it is not a leverage play. This is a spot play. So anytime a risk level on Ethereum has been -4, it is absolutely a good time to buy, and which is current. So that is, I would support your thesis on Ethereum. Again, and if BTC tanks to 49 or 50 again, there's absolutely nothing which can save Ethereum. But if you believe the cycle is still on, um, it's a good place to buy it.
Yeah,
It is pretty much the same. Yeah.
that's the thing. I'll probably ape a lot of Ethereum now, but I was saying that since January, and I'm trying not to change my thesis. I feel like this cycle is basically pretty much done. But
And
that,
you think we don't see 100K again or 120K again?
I mean, what I'm thinking now, obviously, like I'm happy to be wrong. I'm really open-minded. I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'll actually be happy to be wrong about what I'm thinking now, and I would love to see Bitcoin go higher. But I think I was saying that basically looking at this whole cycle, right? We had pre-halving top, which was something unusual, something that never happened in previous cycles. Um, then we had ETFs, and I think basically Bitcoin ETF, changed everything. I know like people been always saying like, yeah, this time is not different, this time is not different, but at some point it will be different. And this whole cycle, looking at it, it looks completely different to me, personally. And I was saying that I think we already topped. We might see another push. I don't think we will have a new highs. I was hoping before that we might still see that 120. But I don't think we will have another highs. Like I said, I'm happy to be wrong. I would probably make more money being wrong. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking at the minute. Obviously, I'm also happy to flip flop to the other side if I see like there is some strength. But to be honest, the only thing that's stopping Bitcoin from absolutely nuking why we haven't seen like low 70s, high 60s in April, it was basically just MicroStrategy buying Bitcoin more or less. There is not many like institutions basically buying Bitcoin as much as MicroStrategy, and people saying, "Oh yeah, but BlackRock is also buying." It's not really BlackRock. It's basically just the retail customers. I think when I've checked it, it was probably like 80% of the Bitcoin that BlackRock is buying. It was basically just retail boomers buying it, and 20% institutions, something like that. I might have mixed up the percentages more or less, but more or less it was just retail and a little bit of institutions buying it. And if MicroStrategy at some point will not raise any more money, how is he gonna buy more Bitcoin? And basically, who's gonna be the person who's gonna hold the Bitcoin from falling lower? Because I think we're supposed to be lower, but it's basically just MicroStrategy just guarding that price, not allowing it to go further down. And
Yeah,
yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking. Like I said, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. But yeah, there's so many things that are different than the previous cycles. You can't say it's basically the same cycle anymore. Plus, basically, Bitcoin, since it's been ETF approved, is basically behaving a little bit different. It's behaving like an ETF asset. It's not crypto anymore. And as you can see, the mindshare is basically Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pumping. Altcoins are dumping. Bitcoin is dumping. Altcoins also dumping. So yeah, there's not much going on for altcoins. It's basically just Bitcoin. I mean, looking at the Bitcoin dominance, that thing is just keep grinding higher. It's like 60, what is it, like 65% or something like that?
yeah,
Have you got a chart handy over there somewhere for the dominance?
I can bring it up. So there was no rate cut, which is the news. But dominance is at 65-39.
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't show any signs of weakness. Um, so yeah, I mean that's my thoughts. Like I said, I'm happy to be proven wrong. But yeah, I guess time will tell. What do you think?
Uh, I think don't. I'm not a big dominance guy. I rarely chart because I'm a swing trader.
Hmm.
Um, I see whatever aligns with my time frame, but I think it's there. The dominance is right there. Going to be. I don't have a number in mind, but I think dominance is right there to pull BTC to 110 at, let's say, 68 or 69. And then we see a mini alt season of selected coins is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you
but
do you
yeah,
think the four-year cycle is still intact? Do you think it's still in play?
it's a good question. Yeah, I think if okay, what I'm thinking today is that we top out in June or July.
Okay.
If that is the case, then I think the 4-year cycle will not be in play. So if you ask me after July, maybe that's where I can tell you. But I doubt. I doubt.
Okay, that's fair. Guys,
Everything is fallen off the cliff. Uh, right.
any more?
Yes.
Wait, is he speaking yet?
Well, that
I'm sorry, I'm just checking if Power is speaking. Just to make sure we
I think
don't.
he comes in. Yeah, we don't want to miss him. I really want to see the reaction.
I love Monday.com.
What's Monday.com?
Gosh, I wish I. Actually, it's too late now. Because I do have a YouTube Premium. But not on this account. Right, shall we have this a little bit for a change? Let me just change that.
Yeah,
Guys,
Magic, I see that. everything is
an
dumping.
agreement. We looked at the SEP. We saw a weaker
And
forecast for
it's
growth.
pretty
and no
awkward.
move
We
to the
knew there
medium
was no
term. We
rate
both
cut.
said
It
this
was
is
priced in.
hawkish. This is a Federal
Yep.
Reserve whose easing bias
Let me
might be
take
constrained.
profit on
Dan,
my
do you think they're
short.
communicating that a little bit more
Look
clearly?
at the
or very
gold.
clearly
Look at the
in today's
gold
statement?
candle. Oh my God.
I
Oh,
guess I disagree a little bit
Jiba.
with Rich.
That's
I
a
know
that's
it's
a big
anecdotal, but
candle.
I think back to that 2022 Jackson Hole, Wyoming speech, which was like the
S&P
there will be
dumping.
pain speech. The bucket of ice dropped on our
Priced
heads when
in.
the Fed was put in a
I mean,
situation
it's like
where they had to worry about
self-fulfilling
inflation
prophecy.
over
I mean, it feels
unemployment,
like
and they thought a recession may ensue.
we knew
While
it
they
was going to
didn't,
dump, so
they
everybody
were
dumps.
willing to make that decision to go ahead and raise rates
Right,
anyways
shall we have
because
a
they were
look what they
behind the
say?
curve and still catching up at that point in time. And I
Yeah,
think they're
sure.
still
We
smart
kind of
Bricks
missed
from
is
it.
that
there.
period. I also think it's important. I was in Chicago when Jay Powell spoke, and he made an important point in the Q&A,
I'll
and
just
that is
update
that
Discord
no
in
matter
the
what,
meantime.
the bump in inflation due to tariffs
Coin the
would be
brick.
temporary.
Mr.
That means
Brick,
that they held off a
hello.
Bricks
bit
is here.
before, as unemployment rises, or we get some red ink on unemployment, and then they cut. It is not only not preemptive,
So no rate
they
cut,
have
no
to wait
surprises.
in order to make sure that inflation's coming back down again in the fourth quarter.
Guys,
In
can
preparation
you
for this meeting,
can
I
you
asked
hear
leading
the
economists
YouTube
around the world,
whatever
and
we're
he
just
said,
watching in the
"Expect the
background? Can you hear it
unexpected."
okay? Is
What's
it
your
not too
unexpected
loud?
right
Is it
now?
not
I
too
got all my
quiet?
radar up. We've all got answers.
Let me know
We've
if
all
I
got
can't
it's
hear it.
analysis. We've got our
Is it not
monetary
too loud?
It's
predictions out. We're
too low.
reading ManQ. Guess what? What's
Too
the
low.
unexpected out there?
Too loud. Okay.
Wow, so I guess we're into known unknowns and
No,
unknown
not loud.
unknowns.
I
I
mean,
guess
Oh,
to
not
me,
loud.
low.
Okay.
the
I can't
the
hear.
unexpected
I'm just
would
wondering
be
if
Mike
my
McKee or
because I do
someone
hear it as
asked
well
Jay
on the
Powell
speakers, but I'm
today
just
how they
wondering
would
if
respond to a rise in
the
the unemployment
microphone is
rate
also
if he
picking it
repeated
up.
what he did at Jackson Hole 3 years ago, which is
No, I can't
some
hear
pain,
it.
So
inflation's
there's
too
no
damn
icon.
high. So
Okay.
that would be the unexpected at this press conference.
What does
So
pain
right,
look
so
like?
no rate
Rich, what's pain?
cuts.
Because
We're
quite clearly,
still
if I lost my
dumped a
job, that's
little
painful
bit.
for me.
Yeah?
If the three
The
of us lose our
question
jobs, I hope it's
is,
painful for you. You'd miss out on a lot, I'm
have
sure.
we priced
I want to
any
understand
bad
if it becomes
news?
painful for the Federal
Or
Reserve.
basically Powell
What kind of
speaking,
number
have
is
we
painful?
priced
I
anything
think I
that
put
might
it out
come
a moment
out
ago. I think round
bad?
numbers. I think certainly if we
Because
got
I
a
don't think we
1 point
did.
rise in the
That's
unemployment
why I
rate,
was.
I think
That's why
probably even a
I'm
half
still
point
like
rise in
leaning
the unemployment rate
bearish
in
a
the
little
context
bit.
of a cracking payroll employment report would be enough. I think probably the only person who knows for sure is probably Jay Powell. So I'm just guessing. But
Can you increase
to
the
put
sound
round
of the
numbers,
CNN?
round numbers on
Or
it. Yeah.
I think it's
Diane,
CNN.
what's your view of
I
this
don't
in
know
terms of
which
the
one is
pain that
that.
would get the Fed's
Let's
attention at
hear
the time was Rich
hear
just
the
put out?
suits.
There has been elevated inflation for years above where
Sorry, say that again?
Can we hear the suits? I can't hear them.
Rich, on
Yeah,
the
sure.
degree of which we'd see the unemployment rate go up that would
Let
precipitate
me
the
know if
Fed
it's
to feel
okay.
comfortable that it could begin cutting because
Not yet.
the demand is so weak that inflation will come down.
Ice
But
is
that
here.
after
Ice
the
boss is
fact
here.
of inflation actually going
Ice
up.
boss.
And remember,
What up, Ice
unemployment
boss?
is a lagging indicator, and I think that's important. We also have one other factor out there that we've yet to see fully influence the labor market, and that is whether or not the change in immigration policy results in lower labor supply, which was part of the soft landing scenario, but it also will mean a
Right, guys,
slower
I'm just gonna use a
increase in the
toilet really
unemployment
quickly,
rate
okay? I'll
if
be
we
back
lose
in
the
about 2
participation
minutes.
of those foreign-born workers. So all of those things
Yep.
together leave us with a period of the economy with maybe red ink in
I think if we see
payrolls
BDC,
before
it's
the
holding
Fed
up
actually cuts.
96,
And I think that is the important message. The timing is only maybe
which
a few
is
months
kind of
apart,
surprising to me,
but
to be
that
honest.
not preemptive,
It
but
did
also
spike
not
down
synchronous, I think
to
is what we have to walk away
95A,
from.
About Michael, one of our
which
things here is
is
Michael
the 9
Ferroli's
EMA on
thoughts
4
from
hours.
years ago about such a low potential GDP number. Maybe we got saved by productivity.
I
Who
doubt.
knows? Maybe it was
I
triple
doubt.
stimulus
Wash your hand.
in
Break.
that. But in your framework of the debt market around Clarida's economics, do you just frame in a new
It's going to be
lower
crucial.
GDP
I don't
that
know.
we have to get used to?
No, I don't think so. And I think if you talk to Mike Ferroli today, he would tell you that the post-GFC environment has
Lana, is that-
faded. There's a new generation that's in place, call it loosely
Lana
the
did
millennials.
retest 200
There
on
will be
4
a
hours.
demand and
So
cost
that is
and
bullish.
productive use of capital. So
I think my target for
to an
Solana is
environment that
131.
existed
If
pre-GFC.
it comes out
I think
dovish.
what's interesting
We
to me
beat the
right now
posted.
is the markets have voted. And if the FOMC is going to tell them that that the risks are higher unemployment and higher
Well,
inflation.
the game is
Neither of
wait
those are
another
good. So
14
equity
minutes.
prices are
And as
down,
soon as
bond
he says
prices
good
are up.
afternoon,
At
everyone,
least
we
we've
start
got
dumping.
sort
I
of
think that's the
right-way
game plan.
correlation today.
John, have we heard from President Trump yet?
Not yet, not on the Federal Reserve directly,
I
Lisa, but
saw
I think
this,
he's shaken up this market
post
already.
on
I was
Twitter
going
or
to say
Instagram.
the fact that he said he was
uh,
unwilling to lower
whenever
tariffs to get China to the
JP comes
table was a
out
pretty big
and
headline
says
that
good
maybe is getting more of
afternoon,
the attention in
markets
markets
start
than elsewhere.
dumping.
But Rich,
That's
to Bob's
pretty
point,
cool.
and this is a good one, and it's
Yeah.
one that actually Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made just a couple of days ago, the 2-year yield is screaming that the Fed should have already cut rates. Do you buy that type of reasoning, that this market is pricing in a slowdown that the Fed should preemptively respond to?
The market is pricing in a material probability of a recession, and Secretary Bessent's entitled to say then the Fed should cut. I think what we're hearing and what we'll hear today is that's a risk that they're willing to take, given the history of inflation and given what they see down the pipe. So the markets are pricing in 40-50% chance of recession, and as you pointed out 5 minutes ago, the past
I think it's
30
slightly
years,
too
the Fed
loud, isn't
typically
it?
already by now would be in preemptive mode to run
No,
to the
I can't hear
rescue.
it at
But
all.
again, history is relevant here, and that's why this time is
Is
going
that
to be
okay now?
a little bit different.
To us more directly, though, what do you make of the specific
No,
argument that
I
the
can't
Treasury
hear.
Secretary is pushing? The idea that the 2-year yield is trading below where Fed funds is, and he believes that's a sign potentially
We
that the
can't
Fed's
hear
too
you
tight
good
and the market's
enough
telling them to
because
cut.
of the
Is that a
news
good news for
stream.
things?
Okay,
It's a
let me
sign that the
do the.
probability of recession has gone up, and that in
Let
that
me
scenario, we all think the Fed
Turn the
will be
volume
cutting.
down a little bit.
I don't think, anyway, that the Fed's going to be cutting to try to get ahead of that curve. As Diane said, the very real risk is that they're going to be late, and certainly not
Guys,
early.
hydrate,
Diane,
okay?
based on
Water.
that, how much has the risk of recession gone up just in the past couple
Yeah,
of days, given
I
the
was having
fact
just
that
that.
it seems like the Fed is going to reiterate that point?
Well, our view has been the risk is
I think
60% for some time
think
now, and I would bet that
BTC
bond markets are probably back up to
or
60%. They had slowed,
he's
come
going to
down
speak in
just a
12
little
minutes,
below
so I
that
don't
in
think
recent weeks.
the
with
bottom is
some
there.
Hang on, because can you say that again? Because they can't hear you
and now
properly
it's being unwound
with the news in
today.
the background.
I
Can you
think
say that again?
Okay.
what the Fed has to do, and
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's much better now,
that's a
I
lot
think.
more work, is probability and scenario
Yeah, I think
analysis. That's
if
always
you share my
part of it.
chart,
We put in some
let's see
probability
what
and
you.
tariffs will
Sure.
be in different
I'll share
kinds of
my
regimes
screen.
One
and
second.
how
Let me
they're likely
just
to play out
turn the
and
volume
how
down. Guys, in the chat, if you see Powell speaking, please let me know in the description, in the chat as soon as possible, please, okay? Because that's the main reason why we streaming today. Right, and yeah, ready to go. Go on, mate.
I think he's going to be on in 11 minutes.
Well, look how we sit on that 9 moving average.
Yeah. Now you know why 9 is important.
You know, we actually might moon from here. We just clean some longs and then we're gonna shoot up. What's the chances?
I doubt. Yeah. So I'm still in my doubts.
Yeah, me too. I'm just like trying to live the fantasy a little bit. Hello, are you there?
I think what we see, I still think is we spike up, and then spike down when he answers questions, because I think the genie is out of the bottle. We know it's unchanged, and that was priced in. So I'm guessing it's either going to be a retest of 95.3, or we spike up and then retest it. Either not in this stream, but I think in the next 4 hours. But the candles look awful. I mean,
Yeah.
this candle is currently lower than the body of the candle. So absolutely, this is a downtrend, the current downtrend. It can obviously change, and this could end up being a wick, and the body ends up somewhere here.
You could
Which
even
is a
argue
possibility.
there was a double top, right?
Yes. Something like that. What I was seeing on the daily, it could have been a double top. Um, it's hard. It's really hard. What market wants to think. Let's look at the volume. Volume has dropped significantly. I know we had a 4-hour bearish divergence, which is now completely resetted, I think. So this is OBV. So this is clearly telling you that there was selling. Um, let's look at a smaller time frame. It's the market is indecisive.
Yeah.
Flush, it's difficult. We either flush down or we regain control.
I mean,
That's my
what happened the last FOMC meeting? Do you remember? I think we had we had this move to the upside and to the downside, basically just weak that flashed all the longs and all the shorts. What are the chances that we're gonna basically repeat that?
I think we do that. It's like I was reading this somewhere. It's like the market reacts to Feds tomorrow. Then the market again reacts to what happened during the Fed meeting, and then day after, market again reacts to what happened on the previous day. That was pretty funny. So
So sorry, buddy.
but I don't know.
Chili wants to say hi again. Come on, Chili. Come on, say hi. Say hi to the stream. Can you say send it to the moon?
Dump it.
Yeah, let me just quickly have a look at the charts because I think they are frozen again. Let me just quickly refresh that. So we're ready for the power speech.
What?
Doggy.
So Star says it has completely retraced. Let me see.
That's cute. Cute
Oh
morpho.
yeah, you're right, Star. It is absolutely washed off the
Yeah,
pump.
let me switch to your charts now. Yeah,
No,
it's
it's
not.
okay. We're going to share your screen now, and
No. I mean,
5 minutes.
we're still not doing anything, so we might as well look at your chart because you've got all the charts there. Chili, leave that chicken toy, okay? Please don't play with the squeaky toy now. We still got like 6 minutes before the speech. What else shall we? Stocks. You the Tesla guy. What's the plan for the Tesla? Sell me the Tesla, okay? What's the plan? Where do I get in? And where do I get out?
In Tesla, if I tell you, Tesla has never broken a swing low. So my guess is we never break down below 224.
Mm-hmm.
Never as in next 4 months or the next earnings. So my guess is the change of character is not broken again, which is, let's say, 220-ish. I think 220 was a triple bottom or a double bottom during a session.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the candle pattern, it's pretty obvious. There were buyers at this level. The buyers were there at this level as well as all of these levels. So my guess is the change of character or the change of trend is not broken. And Tesla has never broken that in all of its history.
Okay.
So my guess is 220 is the place. But if you want to, let's say if you don't have, if you haven't gotten Tesla, uh, my assumption is we see 350 to 375 this year. I would come and take a look at some to get something here, which is at 240. I think another line in the chart was 250. Yeah, 255, somewhere here. And anything below 240 is the golden zone. So I think anything here would be a nice buy.
What about MicroStrategy?
I'm rotating out of MicroStrategy. I want to cut loose MicroStrategy sooner or later. But I think the NAV premium on MicroStrategy is 1.97. That was yesterday. So I don't know how much is it today. It changes maybe a percentile, but if we see Bitcoin to 110, I think we see a MicroStrategy to 500.
And what about Palantir? What does it look like on the risk reward on that tool that you've been using for
I like
Ethereum?
Palantir. Let's see, PLP. I really wanted to get it on 110, which is currently. So I think 110 to 100 to 110 is a good buy though.
Yeah, I did scoop up a little bit yesterday at I think like 106 more or less. But that was
Yeah,
a
I think
spot. That was the spot. Right. Let me
I think anything be a good one.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, they not talking yet. Okay, let's quickly have a look at the charts. Let's see how the charts behave before it starts speaking, right? Because that's quite important. Let me change that. Okay, shall we? Okay, we got 3 minutes. 3 minutes chart. 3 minutes charts.
And
Okay.
I did try to get your YouTube streaming voice back. I could not hear it the last time. It was pretty low.
In the statement.
Okay. What
Well,
about now?
Jay Powell's very, very collaborative, and he had bilateral
No, I
discussions
can't
with
hear
every
it.
member of the committee.
You will hear in a
We
sec
did
because the stream
distinguish
is slightly
between the
delayed.
FOMC statement, which is a committee document, and the press conference. The press conference, he reads an opening statement, but that's Jay Powell speaking as Jay Powell. So as I think we've mentioned before, when you look at the opening statement or
Can you
even
hear
the
it
press
now?
conference, you want to count the
No,
times he says
no.
we in the
Increase
committee
the
versus
volume.
I, and sometimes that balance goes up and down.
That's an important distinction. But before we go into this news conference, Chairman Powell will walk out
How about
in
now?
about a minute's time. You got a quick question for Mike McKee. What do you want to know?
Yeah,
No.
I'd ask him about
little
Sell
more.
America. How do they define it? What are they watching
think it's
to see
something
if
on
it
your end
actually
because
happens?
Something a lot of investors are thinking about.
I've got
going
the
into this
stream
one.
on
One
my
that you definitely
phone
will not
and I
answer,
can
but
hear it
this is really
fine.
going to be one of the key questions to really gauge how much the bond market continues to be some
Maybe
sort of
it's the
counterbalance
Discord,
to risk in markets.
At least funds are rallying. Isn't that the good news this afternoon?
I guess so. I mean, I guess we could talk about why. We could talk about whether it's some sort of global recession. That's
Okay,
being
I see.
priced in, if there's no
Maybe
trade discussion
what
or
you can do
whatever it
now
might be. But
is
yeah, for now, this is
mute
great.
me
I think we're
on the
beholden to 1600
Discord
Pennsylvania Avenue. Maybe we'll get a treat within the
and
conference.
basically just watch
We've
the
already had a
stream. And
headline that's
whenever
shaken
you
up
want to
this
say
market from the
something, you have
President
to
of the United
unmute me
States, the
and
President
then
unwilling
talk to
to
me.
lower tariffs to get
Because
China
everyone
to the
is
table.
actually
This
looking
is
at
about framing
the stream at the
negotiations into the
minute.
weekend, but it
Doesn't
also
make
frames the
sense.
risk for this committee. The FOMC facing down
Yeah.
stagflation
Okay.
risk
So I'll put you
articulated
on the
in the
Discord.
statement this
Yeah.
afternoon, which reads as follows.
Guys,
the committee, attentive
please
to the
leave
risks
some
on both sides of
likes
its dual mandate
so more
and
people
judging
can
the
join
risks of
us.
higher unemployment and
I
higher
would really
inflation
appreciate that.
have risen, emphasizing the language, the communication that came from the Fed chair more recently at the Economic
Come on,
Club of
Mr.
Chicago,
Powell,
including the
speak.
committee getting behind him. March 19th was the last Federal Reserve meeting. April 2nd is so-called Liberation Day squeezed in between. A generational shift in trade policy, totally shaking up the outlook for this Federal Reserve.
Which makes it incredibly difficult for them
Here
to
the man
give
comes.
actual
Here he
forward-leading
comes.
indicators at a time of such great uncertainty.
It is May 7th, and
Get
the
ready,
chairman
guys.
has stepped up. Here's the chairman of the Federal Reserve.
My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. Despite heightened uncertainty, the economy is still in a solid position. The unemployment rate remains low, and the labor market is at or near maximum employment. Inflation has come down a great deal, but has been running somewhat above our 2% longer-run objective. In support of our goals, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to leave our policy interest rate unchanged. The risks of higher unemployment and higher inflation appear to have risen, and we believe that the current stance of monetary policy leaves us well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. I will have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Pardon me. Following growth of 2.5% last year, GDP was reported to have edged down in the first quarter, reflecting swings in net exports that were likely driven by businesses bringing in imports ahead of potential tariffs. This unusual swing complicated GDP measurement last quarter. Private domestic final purchases, or PDFP, which excludes net exports, inventory investment, and government spending, grew at a solid 3% rate in the first quarter, the same as last year's pace. Within PDFP, growth of consumer spending moderated, while investment in equipment and intangibles rebounded from weakness in the fourth quarter. Surveys of households and businesses, however, report a sharp decline in sentiment and elevated uncertainty about the economic outlook, largely reflecting trade policy concerns. It remains to be seen how these developments might affect future spending and investment. In the labor market, conditions have remained solid. Payroll job gains averaged 155,000 per month over the past 3 months. The unemployment rate at 4.2% remains low and has stayed in a narrow range for the past year. Wage growth has continued to moderate while still outpacing inflation. Overall, a wide set of indicators suggest that conditions in the labor market are broadly in balance and consistent with maximum employment. The labor market is not a source of significant inflationary pressures. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Total PCE prices rose 2.3% over the 12 months ending in March. Excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.6%. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Survey respondents, including consumers, businesses, and professional forecasters, point to tariffs as the driving factor. Beyond the next year or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to maintain the target range for the federal funds rate at 4.25% to 4.5% and to continue reducing the size of the balance sheet. The new administration is in the process of implementing substantial policy changes in 4 distinct areas: trade, immigration, fiscal policy, and regulation. The tariff increases announced so far have been significantly larger than anticipated. All of these policies are still evolving, however, and their effects on the economy remain highly uncertain. As economic conditions evolve, we'll continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the outlook, and the balance of risks. If the large increases in tariffs that have been announced are sustained, they're likely to generate a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and an increase in unemployment. The effects on inflation could be short-lived, reflecting a one-time shift in the price level. It is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent. Avoiding that outcome will depend on the size of the tariff effects, on how long it takes for them to pass through fully into prices, and ultimately on keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our obligation is to keep longer-term inflation expectations well anchored and to prevent a one-time increase in the price level from becoming an ongoing inflation problem. As we act to meet that obligation, we'll balance our maximum employment and price stability mandates, keeping in mind that without price stability, we cannot achieve the long periods of strong labor market conditions that benefit all Americans. We may find ourselves in the challenging scenario in which our dual mandate goals are in tension. If that were to occur, we would consider how far the economy is from each goal and the potentially different time horizons over which those respective gaps would be anticipated to close. For the time being, we're well positioned to wait for greater clarity before considering any adjustments to our policy stance. At this meeting, the committee continued its discussions as part of our 5-year review of our monetary policy framework. We focused on inflation dynamics and the implications for our monetary policy strategy. Our review includes outreach and public events involving a wide range of parties, including Fed Listens events around the country and a research conference next week. Throughout this process, we're open to new ideas and critical feedback, and we will take on board lessons of the last 5 years in determining our findings. We intend to wrap up the review by late summer. The Fed has been assigned 2 goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission. We at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to your questions.
All right, guys, listen now.
Steve Leisman, CNBC. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for taking my question. A lot has happened since the last meeting. There's been tariffs put on, tariffs taken off, and meanwhile, there's a bill advancing in Congress. And I just wonder if I could press you on the last part of your statement. Are you any closer now to deciding which side of the mandate is going to need urgent care first?
Well, so as we noted in our statement, post-meeting statement, we've judged that the risks to higher employment and higher inflation have both risen. And this, by the way, of course, is compared to March. So that's what we can say. I don't think we can say, which way this will shake out. I think there's a great deal of uncertainty about, for example, where tariff policies are going to settle out. And also, when they do settle out, what will be the implications for the economy, for growth, and for employment? I think it's too early to know that. So, ultimately, we think our policy rate is in a good place to stay as we await further clarity on tariffs and ultimately their implications for the economy.
Hearing you describe what you're looking for in terms of being able to make a decision, it sounded like that's a long-term process before you sound like you're going to be comfortable, or the committee would be comfortable to act on what the data is telling you.
I don't think we know. I think if you look at where we are today, we have an economy that, if you look through, the sort of distortions in Q1 GDP, you've still got an economy that looks like it's growing at a solid pace. The labor market appears to be solid. Inflation is running just a bit above 2%. So it's an economy that's been resilient and is in good shape. And our policy is sort of modestly or moderately restrictive. It's 100 basis points less restrictive than it was last fall. And so we think that leaves us in a good place to wait and see. We don't think we need to be in a hurry. We think we can be patient. We're going to be watching the data. The data may move quickly or slowly, but we do think we're in a good position where we are to let things evolve and become clearer in terms of what should be the monetary policy response.
Nick.
Nick Timmeros of the Wall Street Journal. Chair Powell, there's naturally a lot of PTSD around 2021 with supply shocks. But there are some who argue that the current situation has notable differences. Energy costs are down. Housing imbalances look nothing like they did 4 years ago. Labor demand appears to be gradually cooling, with wage growth running below 4%. What do you see right now that could nourish higher inflation beyond a rise in goods prices this year?
I think the underlying inflation picture is good. It's what you see, which is inflation now running a bit above 2%. And we've had basically decent readings in housing services and non-housing services, which is a big part of it. So that part, I think, is moving along well. But there's just so much that we don't know. I think And we're in a good position to wait and see, is the thing. We don't have to be in a hurry. The economy has been resilient and is doing fairly well. Our policy is well positioned. The costs of waiting to see further are fairly low, we think. So that's what we're doing. And, we'll see. The administration is entering into negotiations with many countries over tariffs. We'll know more with each week and month that goes by where tariffs are going to land, and we'll know what the effects will be when we start to see those things. So we think we'll be learning. I can't tell you how long it will take, but for now it does seem like it's a fairly clear decision for us to wait and see and watch.
So when you say that you don't need to be in a hurry, does that mean that could the outlook change in such a way that a change in your stance could be warranted as soon as your next meeting?
As I said, we are comfortable with our policy stance. We think we're in the right place to wait and see how things evolve. We don't feel like we need to be in a hurry. We feel like it's appropriate to be patient. And when things develop, of course, we have a record of we can move quickly when that's appropriate. But we think right now the appropriate thing to do is to wait and see how things evolve. There's so much uncertainty. If you talk to businesses or market participants or forecasters, everyone is just waiting to see how developments play out, and then we'll be able to make a better assessment of what the appropriate path for monetary policy is. So we're not in that place, and as that develops, and I can't really give you a time frame on that.
Janelle Marte with Bloomberg. So many economists have been pricing in higher odds of a recession, and several are noting that it is more difficult for the Fed to cut rates preemptively given the higher risks for higher inflation. So given the outlook, do you still see a path for a soft landing, and what does that look like?
Well, let me say, so let's look back and see where we are. So go through 2024 up to the day. We've had unemployment in the low 4s for more than a year. We've had inflation coming down now in the mid to low 2s. We've had an economy growing at 2.5%. So that is the economy as we see it now. What looks likely, given the scope and scale of the tariffs, is that we will see certainly the risks to higher inflation, higher unemployment have increased. And if that's what we do see, if the tariffs are ultimately put in place at those levels, which we don't know, then we won't see further progress toward our goals. But we might see a delay in that. I think in our thinking we never do anything but keep achieving those goals. But we would, at least for the next, let's say, year, we would not be making progress toward those goals. Again, if that's the way the tariffs shake out. The thing is, we don't know that. There's so much uncertainty about the scale, scope, timing, and persistence of the tariffs. So that's that. In terms of preemption, I think you can look back at the 2019 cuts as preemptive. I wouldn't say that what we did last fall was at all preemptive. If anything, it was a little late. But 2019, we did cut 3 times. But the situation was you had a weakening economy and you had inflation at 1.6%. So that's a situation where you can move preemptively. Now we have inflation running above target. It has been above target for 4 years. It's not so far above target now. And we have an expectation, conditional on what happens, that we'll see upward pressure on inflation. If you look at where forecasters are, they're all forecasting an increase in inflation. So it makes it, and then we've also got forecasts of weakening in the economy, and some have recession forecasts. We don't publish a forecast about that. We don't publish a forecast that assesses how likely a recession is. But in any case, it's not a situation where we can be preemptive because we actually don't know what the right response to the data will be until we see more data.
Sophie Smith with the New York Times. How much weakness does the committee need to see, though, in the labor market and the economy more broadly to lower interest rates again? Is it about a certain increase in the unemployment rate over a period of time, or perhaps a certain number of negative monthly job reports? I mean, how are you making that assessment?
Just pump our bugs.
First of all, we don't see that yet, right? We have 4.2% unemployment, good participation, wages behaving very well. Participation, I mentioned, at a good level. So, with the labor market, we would look at the totality of the data. We'd look at the level of the unemployment rate. We'd look at the speed with which it's changing. We would look at the whole huge array of labor market data to get a sense of whether conditions are really deteriorating or not. And at the same time, we'd be looking at the other side of the mandate. We could be in a position of having to balance those two things, which is, of course, a difficult balancing judgment that we'd have to make.
On that point about balancing, I mean, you've mentioned that the committee would consider how far the economy is from each goal and the time it would take to kind of get back to that point. But what does that mean in practice? I mean, how much of that assessment would be
I think we
rooted in
can
a forecast
pretty much got
versus data
the
dependence?
full picture of
It would be a combination of
what's
the two.
going to happen, right?
This would be a complicated and
We
challenging
pretty got,
judgment.
yeah,
that
we
would
pretty
have to
much
make.
got his stance
And we're not in this situation, but
on the market. I think you have to unmute yourself or unmute me. Yeah, so guys, yeah, as you can see, as expected, no rate cuts. He still stays with basically nothing is broken, so no quantitative easing, no basically money printing until something really breaks. Yeah, so I think that's it, guys. Like I said, we probably going down on Bitcoin. As you can see, Bitcoin is already going lower. I'm really surprised actually the gold is going down as well. And S&P is going up. This is a weird one. Eng, are you there, buddy?
Yeah, I was moving around my screens.
You're still with us. What do you think about what he was saying? Did you listen?
Did he's not cutting. He is not interested to cut stagflation. I mean, that's the end story. That's what is going to happen.
Orange Man is gonna be really upset.
Yeah, he's going to tweet something and say, I'm going to fire somebody. But you know what? I'm waiting for retest of 95. I really think it needs a long. It looks very, very weak. I'm seeing odds more sell. There was a buy of 1.2 million. Let's see, but I think it's mostly there was no rate cut. That's why I can't justify this down. Opinion, but the line in the sand is 95.3. It's really the line. Let's see. What do you think?
All right, so yeah, I mean, I think we're basically going down. Like you said, we're just gonna retest the lowers. As I was saying before, actually, hang on, let me just switch to my screen for a second. Yeah, basically, as I was saying in our Discord, by the way, I'm just gonna quickly show the Discord. Guys, I'm gonna put a link to free Discord in the channel description. So if you want to join us, we've got Eng, which is a pro trader. We do post a lot of signals, basically just nice tight community. If you want to have someone to go into the crypto and stock journey, just click in the link in the video description and join us. I will let you in. Okay. Yeah, back to Bitcoin. Yeah, basically what I was saying. Let me just I think like this is basically what I'm looking at. I'm looking at that 86 level. I'm bearish. I'm literally looking either retest at 88 or basically that 50% drop. I mean, you could argue, you could like try to basically just go from here to there. Like if you got that 50% drop, that would really tie up with 91k. So yeah, 91k. If that's not going to hold, then I'm turning like full bear. And basically call it that's it. Basically the cycle done. If we're gonna drop below 91k and we're gonna close below, we might we might have some crazy sell-off. I've seen that before. Like we might have something like this. I wouldn't be worried too much, but if we're gonna close below, I would say this golden zone, if we're gonna close below like 89, 88, I think for me personally, I think the cycle is done. What do you think?
I think if we go down below 91, we definitely test 88, 86, 84 within that week. That's a pretty nice area to long because the downside is limited. It's either over at 84 or we go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a pretty safe bet if we go to 88.
No, that's fair enough. And any, because it's been almost 2 hours. Any last things you would like to say before we say goodbye to everyone?
No, I think thanks for joining in. Whoever has joined the live, appreciate it, and join our Discord. A lot of fun stuff. Me and Sir Crypto work very hard to get trades out. Even at 4 a.m. my time to wait time. So thanks all, and let meet.
Nice. We got some audio issues there on your end, I think. Right, guys. Again, thank you very much for joining the stream. It's been 2 hours. If you're still here, you're a bloody legend. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for the support. You guys are amazing. Join the Discord. You can catch us there. If you have any questions, you can always message me on Discord. I'm also on X. It's Sir Crypto. I will include that in the description. I will also include Eng's X in the video description. Guys, have a lovely day. And thank you very much for those 2 hours. I know it's been probably rough for you. You had some issues with your voice. So yeah, thank you for that, mate. It's been great 2 hours, and yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
See you.
Guys.
Thanks. Cheers, guys. Bye.
See you in the next one. If anything important happens in the future, I think we're gonna do a live stream again. But yeah, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, join the Discord, and trade safe.